Hi everyone, welcome to my Card Hunter video. Card Hunter, for those who aren't aware, is a game by Blue Manchu. You can see their logo in the background there, which is sort of a combination of a tabletop RPG with a collectible card game. So sort of like, actual Dungeons and Dragons combined with like Magic the Gathering, sort of. It's a really great game, and as a fan of, turn-based RPGs, I couldn't wait to get into the beta. I actually got into the beta quite a while ago. I was actually waiting for a new microphone to actually do this video because my last mic sucked. And now that I've got it, I wanted to show you guys a bit of the gameplay. It actually runs, as you can see, just in a browser. Don't let that throw you off, though. I mean, it's quite complex for a browser-based game. It's not your typical Facebook, Farmville crap. But it does mean that you can kind of play it from anywhere, which is nice. It's actually a really good game to play while you work. I do it all the time. And I'll show you guys why. Go ahead and log in here. I was torn between making a new account so that I could show you guys everything from the beginning versus just continuing my old one. I do have 3 beta keys that I'll be giving out. Just, post in the comments, say, hey, I want a beta key, and after a few days I'll just select 3 at random. But instead of using one of those to make a new account to show you guys everything from scratch, I figured, why not just spread the love and let you guys figure that out for yourself. What I will be doing, however, is creating a brand new level 1 party, and giving you as much of the early game, tutorial experience as possible, and then maybe I'll show you some of the, later levels as well to give you an idea of how the gameplay sort of fleshes out as you actually get items and things like that. So, let's go into the tavern. Okay. Now right here is just kind of character creation. These are all just level 1 characters. You can kind of tab through them. Right now, there are 3 races and 3 classes, and you can have any combination of them. You get to take a total of 3 characters into your party. So if you wanted, you could have 3 dwarf warriors all in the same party. If you wanted, you could have, 3 human priests. The difference between the races are these cards right here. Or, sorry, no, this card right here, I think. Yeah, there we go. Basically, everything in this game, including movement, is done by drawing cards. And every turn, you're guaranteed to draw your race's movement card. So you'll get at least 1 movement card per turn. And how much you move, you can see that little foot with the 2 icon, and the little 2 tooltip actually tells you, yeah, you move 2 spaces. Changes depending on your race. Now dwarves may be slower, they also do get more hit points, so you'll notice they start with 16 health, humans start with 14, the elves start with 12. And you may not think that that's a huge difference compared to the movement, but it does make them quite a bit tankier. So what I will do, let's start getting a dwarf warrior. Grickbar. There we go. Grickbar, the dwarf warrior. Let's do an elf priest. How about John, the elf priest? And then we will do, what do I not have? A wizard? Let's do a dwarf wizard. Wait, no, I already have a dwarf. Let's do a human wizard. Herwolf. Sure, why not? Okay. Yes, I'm a Lord of the Rings nerd, but Elrond, goodbye, we are removing you from the party. Herwolf, get your butt over here, add to party. So right now we have Grickbard, John, and Herwolf as our adventurers. Now what you see down here, this is their deck. Now if you've ever played a card game before, basically, you know, all of your abilities, all of your movement depend on how many, you know, what cards you have available to you at the time. The way that this changes things up, though, is that your deck is made up of what items you have. So as I mouse over the different empty item slots at the moment, you can see what cards those contribute to your deck. So for example, not having boots puts 3 movement 2 walk cards into your deck, which is not really that great. Like, you know, your guys start out without any items, and so they just have very basic abilities. But, you know, obviously as they get items and level up, which leveling up opens up more item slots and lets you use more powerful items, you get some really cool abilities, and I'll show you guys some of the later game stuff towards the end of this video. But for now, let's leave. This is the world map where you'll pick out all of your different adventures. These are the different adventures. I've actually completed a good chunk of the game. There's still some stuff I haven't done. I don't know where it is, though. Anyways, I actually already played these 2 level 1 adventures, just kind of getting the audio right and everything, so unfortunately our level 1 guys are going to have to go do these only these other 2 level 1 adventures, which may not get them to level 2 in time, but we'll see. Now, the reason I wanted to start a new campaign or a new account is to show you guys there's actually this pretty well done, pretty well written banter. They keep this sort of Dungeons and Dragons style, and true to D&D style, you know, there is a dungeon master. His name's Gary, and, you know, he's just kind of dorky, kind of quirky, but, you know, he's really kind of lovable at the same time. And his older brother, Melvin, who's kind of the hardcore D&D guy. I'm sure we've all met types like that in our days. Unfortunately, though, you don't get to see any of that banter because I've already been through it, but this will still give you a good idea of the gameplay. So it says, returning to the Kobold camp, you light torches and head into the Kobold's tunnel, yada yada yada. A Kobold hero emerges to confront you. They basically just give you an idea of what you're going to be facing when the actual fight happens. And so here we go, begin battle. Okay, so what you're seeing here, these are my 3 heroes, along with their current hit points. You'll notice wizards are actually weaker than priests, but since he's a human, he actually has the same hit points as my elf priest. Down here are the different abilities. For my dwarf warrior, for my priest, and for my wizard. I'll try and right-click these before I actually play them and explain what they do so that you guys have an idea. And then this is the game map. Right here, this is like impassable or blocked terrain. Blocks line of sight. Line of sight is very important in this game. This is open terrain. You can move freely around it. There's also what's called rough terrain, which ends your movement when you walk into it. There's also like water terrain that you can see through, but you can't actually just walk into it. Anyways, so for the very first round, what I'm going to do, I'm going to march my warrior up to him. So I'll play this movement card. Lets me move 2. You can see when I play it, it lets me move in any of these available directions. The reason I can't move to this square here is that this unit actually exerts a zone of control on all the squares around him, and I have to stop. I can't just run past him. And that applies to enemies too. If you put your dwarf warrior in front, they won't be able to, you know, just run right past them and get to your squishy guys in the back, which is a good, good tactical way of doing things. So I'll move him forward. The kobold hero decides to strike my warrior. So he played a card. It's a weak strike though. It only does 2 damage, has a range of 1. That's the damage type, and that's where it came from. I didn't have any armor or anything to block it or anything like that, so I didn't get to. So I just took the damage. I will fight him back. Simple strike. You know, 3 damage, 1 range. Just very simple stuff. Okay. The kobold had a block card. Block cards are played automatically, and what happens is it says block any, so magic or physical attack, with damage 4 or less. My simple strike only had 3 damage. Now, in order for that to actually trigger, he needed to roll a 3 or higher. He rolled a 4, so that attack, you basically pretend like it didn't even happen. And he throws another weak strike my way. Not going so good for my warrior. Let's try this again, see if he has another block card in his hand. And he does. Oh, great. You can actually see his deck up to the top, and when you have more enemies, their decks will be shown up top as well. So you can get an idea of how many cards the guy has left to play. Right now I can see though that he only has a movement card. So I can feel free to get my wizard into range. So I will move. Gary passed. Gary is the dungeon master, so he's controlling the kobold hero. And I will zap him. I guess I should have shown you guys that. Well, here, actually, there's a log of what happened. Zap. It's 4 damage at 2 range. So it's, pretty decent damage. It gives you a little more range. That's kind of the advantage of wizards. They can do damage from afar. Warriors and priests aren't really very good at that. And that's what makes up for them being so squishy, is that, they can deal damage from range. Do a little zap now, same thing. I know he doesn't have a block, so this is 3 free damage. Same thing with this spark, I know he doesn't have a block. So I'll get more damage on him. And I think I'll walk my priest into range. He also has a simple strike, so I will go ahead and use that. And then it looks like Grickbar took some damage, so I will use this heal. This is basically, it restores 2 points of health. You can also self-target. It has a range of 3. It's honestly the crappiest heal in the game, but it's something. Now, you may wonder, okay, what happens now? Well, basically, when both sides pass, that's the end of the round, and everybody draws new cards. You do keep whatever cards you have, so if you don't need to play them, there's no point in playing them. Up to a maximum of 2 cards per player. So if you have more than 2 cards, it will force you to discard down to 2 cards before you draw new ones. So I'll go ahead and pass. Gary also passed. Starting new round. Now, since Gary actually passed first, because his kobold hero ran out of cards really quickly, he gets to attack first on the next round. He attacks me with a weak strike on my elf. Now, here's an interesting thing. Since this kobold warrior has his back to me, he can't block. That's the thing about blocks. You do have to be facing your target in order to block. So I know for a fact that even this weak strike, providing he doesn't have any armor up here, like you can see there's 2 cards he has that I can't see, providing he doesn't have any armor to lessen this strike's damage, he'll just die. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and you can see even when I mouse over it tells me that he won't be able to block this attack. And there we go. Adventure complete. So now I get to collect my loot. My guys get experience. This is all the loot that I already have. I've got a lot of stuff. I'll try to only use things. Yeah, you have an unlimited inventory, and I'm a total loot whore. So, yeah, I've hardly sold anything. Open chest. Okay, so we got a staff. A zapping staff. And you can see, if I take this and move it over, on the top there is what cards I will get, and on the bottom is what cards I'll be replacing. I think I will actually replace that. Those sparks, if you look at the range of them, the normal sparks have 6 range, the short ones have 4. Might not do quite as much damage as the zaps and strikes, but having that extra range is really nice. So I got a nice little staff for my wizard, and replaced a bunch of the cards in his deck with that. So we'll hit take all and finish, and we can go to the next level 1 map. I just want to show you guys what it's like to level up. It should level up after this. This one is actually 2 battles, so I'll try and be a little bit quicker through here. Kobold warriors rush forward, egged on by their high priest Igabig. Here's where I think this is actually, oh no, that is open terrain. I thought it might have been rough terrain, but it's not. Okay, so now we have a couple of kind of crappy kobold warriors and Igabig, which is the priest. This might be a good chance to introduce one of the other game mechanics, which is groups. You'll notice up here, these 2 kobold warriors actually share the same deck. Now what that means is that whenever a group plays a movement card, so if they play that run card, each unit in the group gets to move. Now that only applies for movement cards though. The downside of enemies in a group is that once one of these 2 in this group attacks, that's the only attack that they can do in a round. So this group will have a maximum of 2 attacks in one round, just because there's 2 guys. Once one of them uses their attack, they're done for that round. Okay, I think I will do a similar sort of thing as last time. Move my beefy dwarf warrior up to the front. And you'll see he played his run card on his kobold warriors, so they both got to move. He actually just turned to face my warrior. He didn't want to move from his spot. And so I will bludgeon them. And of course they have another weak block. I should expect it. Actually, kobolds do have quite a lot of block cards. It's interesting. As you fight different types of enemies, they do have different sorts of defenses that you have to keep in mind when fighting them. The priest played a support card, which is inspiration. He basically let one of his allies draw a card. I think he actually played it on himself, so strike him. Played inspiration again on himself. Just cycling his deck a little bit. I'll play another simple strike on him, and there we go. He shoots a spark at Grickbar. So Grickbar takes 2 damage. I didn't have any cards, so I couldn't block it. You notice that little star that popped out of the Kobold Warrior when I killed him was a victory point. Basically, the victory condition is whoever gets the most victory points wins. So Gary, he'll actually get 2 victory points for each of my characters that he kills. So he only needs to kill 2 of my characters in order to win this, and I should keep that in mind. I'll move my wizard up to... Okay, he strikes me. You notice how he grayed out after he did that strike? That means that he can't attack anymore this turn. He didn't have any attack cards anyways. You can see his deck's completely empty, but if he did, he still wouldn't be able to use them, just because he's in a group. So we'll go ahead and spark him. He's going to move. Okay, moved up close. Maybe he has an attack card. I will zap that guy. Oh, nope, he decided he didn't want to. Well, good for him. I'm going to zap him. Oh, I should let you guys see that. He played Healing Blessing. He heals 2 each round, duration 3. So for 3 rounds, he heals 2 at the beginning of each round. Kind of nice. I'll play a couple heal cards on my warrior, get him back up to full health. And then I think I will actually move him forward just so that he's in a better position at the start of this next round. So he healed 2, so he's back up to 6. I will spark him. There's another interesting thing about just tactics. You see the little eye above this card. It means that he can actually see this card. The idea being that he knows that each of my characters will draw their racial movement card once per turn, and so you get to see those cards. And the same applies. Well, I mean, the same applies to them. Although instead of having a little eyeball, the card will just be flipped over and visible to you. So these 2 walks are identical, but if I play this walk, he still doesn't know what 2 cards I have in my hand. He doesn't know that I still have another movement card available. And so what I'm going to do is play this other movement card that he wasn't expecting and get right up in his face. And strike him. Sadly, it's not enough to kill him, so I will heal up my warrior. Pass. I have more than 2 cards on this character, so I need to discard 1. I'll discard the walk card. He healed 2. Now he played a run card, but since I'm right up in his face and his only available movement spots are adjacent to my warrior, he can't actually run out and away. He'll have to stop in one of these 2 spots, which is specifically why I positioned my warrior right there. So that's as far as he could go, and now he gets bludgeoned. The earlier maps are fairly simple, the later ones get much, much harder. And I got some more loot. My wizard's actually getting some good stuff. As a beginner stuff, that's what he even started with, but I could swap this. It's less damage, better range on those zaps. However, I think, yeah, these zaps ignore all armor. Armor can be a real pain in the ass in this game, so I'm actually going to replace that even if it is less damage. Pursuing the Kobold Priest, you corner him in his stinking hut. Now the final showdown with these murderous bandits. Okay, now we actually do get to see the rough terrain. So yeah, all of these little spots, you can right-click on them. It just says ends move on entry. It's difficult terrain. So what do we have? We have 3 Kobold warriors in a group, and then Iggabig again. Apparently he only retreated. We didn't actually kill him. Let's see. I think I will move my warrior forward. Iggabig seems like he's in a fairly compromising situation right now. It'll take his kobolds a while to get to where they can actually become part of the fight, so in the meantime, okay, so he used a movement card on his kobold warriors. I'm going to zap. Oh, that was a bad move, Broseph. You get bludgeoned. The AI is, honestly, it's usually better than that. That's kind of a bad example. But, hey, if they're going to play stupid, I'm not going to complain. Strike on my elf. That was his only attack for this turn, so... Okay, he actually failed his block that time. He only needed a 3+. But now, if you notice, I can see his block card up there. Now since they all share a deck, naturally that block can apply for any of them, but I'm going to go ahead and try to... that time he actually blocked it. Unfortunate, but oh well. I had a block card. It was actually called an unreliable block. It's you block anything. Doesn't matter the damage, doesn't matter the type, but you have to roll a 6 in order to block it. It's not the best card just because, again, it is unreliable, just like the name states. Let's see if I can get my dwarf over to take care of this guy. Okay, weak strike, I'm fine with that. Throw some attacks his way. I think I will run him over here. The reason I put him right here is because since he is on this same diagonal as that Kobold Warrior, he would be in sight of both that Kobold Warrior and that Kobold Warrior. So I can spark him to finish him off. And then I can use the short spark on that one. I'll go ahead and pass. I suppose I could have had him heal himself, but the fight's almost over, so I didn't really see a point. He's gonna run over to my guy. Oh, he blocked my zap. That jerk. I'll spark him. And I will move my wizard out of the way so that my elf can run in and finish him off. So, hey, I get level up, level 2. I get an extra hit point and an extra item slot. We are triumphant. I can open the chest. And we get a couple of really crappy shields. Hooray! Such is the nature of random loot. They did a pretty good job too with the item system, just to give you an idea. Let's say I actually wanted to use some of my old inventory to find some decent boots for this guy. I'd go over here, access my collection, and I can actually click on the empty boot slot and it will show all the different pretty boots that I've got and all of the different cards that, you know, come with those boots. Same thing with the shields or the weapons. Makes just sorting really easily. You can also sort based on how rare the weapon is, which is kind of the default setting. The name, the level, the power required. Actually, power is something I haven't shown you that comes into play later on in the game. So as a matter of fact, let me actually... I'm going to get my... I have like a level 9 party. Got a little glitch there. That's annoying. So I will add Broheim, Charmy, and no, not T-Bone. Is Minsk the other one? Oh, I gotta remove Grickbar. Level 9, level 10. I can't remember. I think Minsk was the other one. No, wait, because he's already a warrior. So where's my human priest? He's somewhere around here. There we go. Rabble. Now, power, you'll notice these little icons under here. Some of the bigger weapons like this one, Woodholm's Wound, you'll notice it has a little lightning icon. That's a minor power token. Basically, it's a way to prevent you from loading up all of your best items onto one character. So I would have to spend 1 power token just to get this this sword, which is actually a pretty good sword. I might take that on him, actually. He doesn't have a helmet. What was I thinking? I'll take the shimmering helm, sure. I've already got 2 of these shimmering auras. They're actually pretty good against magic. What it does is armor 3, so that means that if you take, it can prevent up to 3 points of damage. It only prevents damage from magic and projectile attacks, and it triggers on a roll of 3 or more. So basically, if they're plinking at you with lots of small magic attacks, they're not going to do much to you if you have 1 or 2 of these in your hand. The beauty of it is, too, is it's got this, most armor has this keep ability, which basically means that you can use it as many times as you want to block different attacks and whatnot, which is why I was saying armor on enemies can be a real pain in the ass, specifically for that reason. Okay, you know what? This isn't the best loadout, but I think I'll take it. So these guys are level 9 and 10. I could play a lower level one, just to show you. It will downscale your character's HP to that level. It also prevents you from using the more powerful items as well. Let's do Lord Stafford's Treasure. That one's kind of fun, kind of difficult. I'll just do the regular adventure. Once you get to a certain level, you can do these sort of like special runs. So if you don't have a party death, then you know you can get better loot and things like that. So it says a huge copper golem which attacks you as you enter the building. They use shredding strike to rip through their enemy's armors. You are well advised to use block cards against these creatures. Just giving you a little bit of a heads up as to how to deal with them. And 27 hit points. He's a chunky dude. And then just these kind of couple men-at-arms. I'm gonna hope that he can't move very fast. Yeah, it looks like he only draws walk cards, and try to take out these 2 men-at-arms before he gets to me. So I will move my dwarf over here. Okay, this is interesting. I forgot to mention trait cards. Trait cards are cards which you have to play at the beginning of your turn, and they attach to your character. This basically says you cannot turn to face your target when attacking, and you do not turn to face attackers. Basically, when you attack somebody or when you're attacked by them, your character turns to face them. Which means if you had a block card in your hand the first time they attacked you, and it wasn't able to trigger because they were behind you, your character turns to face them, so the next attack that they do against you, the block will trigger. It's a little complicated, but it's not too much once you actually get. Oh, thank heavens. He had a parry card, which he only needs a 2+. So basically, only a 1 would fail this attack. Block any melee and draw a card. He wasn't able to block my strong stab. I'll have to keep an eye out for that, though. And he bludgeons my priest. Trying to think what I would like to do. See if I could get behind this guy, or if he were to move, I could guarantee that he wouldn't be able to parry this penetrating lunge. The lunge attacks, what's interesting is that you get to move one step before attacking. Now unfortunately, these two sides of this man-at-arms are still considered in front of him, so even if I lunged to his side and tried to attack him, that parry card would still likely block the attack. So I'll leave that alone for now. This character has this man-at-arms has already... Oof! Powerful hack. 11 damage. Ouch. And I had no way to block any of that on my character. Oh well, I had a flimsy block, but that only blocks 2 damage or less, not 11 damage or less. Okay, I'm going to use this Ember Spray. What it does is it's a cone attack. So you can see if I move it around, the little yellow areas is where it will hit. It's got a range of 2, so 2 squares out in that conal direction. Burning 1 basically means that each turn, a target that you hit will take 1 point of damage on top of the 1 damage he takes just from being hit with it. So this is a total potential of 3 damage in an AoE over 2 turns. It's not a very good card, but whatever, I'll do it. He walks. Bungled heal. Not something I want to do right now. I can heal 5 to my ally, but it would also heal the closest enemy character 5. The reason I don't want to use that is because basically I'm going to wait until I kill these 2 guys, and then if he's still full health, I'll be able to heal him, and it won't heal him beyond his full health. So, Righteous Frenzy, Unholy Frenzy, that might be good to use. Let's use that on my priest. It does, or not my priest, my warrior. It does 1 damage, but what it does is, for 2 turns, he adds 2 damage to any of his melee attacks, which would be really nice. I'm going to go ahead and pass. I'll discard my run card. I don't think I'll need that as much as these 2. He burns from my obvious maneuver. That's another trait card. Basically, he reveals his hand. Golem is getting too close for comfort. Okay. Going to move him to this side. Oof. Okay, now this is a problem because I do have a parry card on my priest, but I do believe that he's technically behind me. So what I'm going to do is I'll use my lunging hack. I'll move that way, and then attack that character just to draw out that block card. He does a 3 damage penetrating attack. I didn't have any armor on her anyways, so that doesn't matter. Penetrating just ignores armor. But see, now I've got my priest facing the golem. In case he attacks me, my parry will proc. Now that I don't need to worry about... Well, you know what, I still do need to worry about... He might have drawn another block card, so I will lunge that way and attack him from behind. I actually do 6 damage as opposed to 4, so... Completely killed him. Shredding Strike. I don't have any armor. Basically, if I did have armor, and if it prevented any damage, it would get rid of my armor, and it would not block that damage. I did have my parry card, however, though, so that attack didn't even... According to the game, didn't even happen, basically. Throw some sparks on this guy, see if I can whittle him down just a little bit more. Oof, another one of those. These larger characters who can attack multiple times per turn with these big heavy attacks is never a good idea to stand toe-to-toe with them. I'm going to hope he doesn't have another movement card. And he does. So for now, I will just heal myself. And pass, because I actually kind of like that setup. Okay, I got a couple guys with more than 2 cards. I'll get rid of the quick reactions, and I'll get rid of... Do I want to keep that weak armor? I think I do. I'll get rid of the dash. You may wonder why I kept the quick step, because it's only 1 movement. Quick step. Okay, you got another flimsy. Oof. I may actually lose my priest. Quick step, what it lets you do is it's a cantrip, so you take another turn immediately after playing it. So if I need a better positioning, say for like a force bolt, which what it does is it knocks the character back, I could take a quick step in one direction and knock them, you know, a particular way. What I want to do now, however, before I even lose my priest, which I am assuming I will. If I lose one character, that's okay. He still needs 6 victory points. He needs to kill all 3 of my characters in order to win. So what I will do is I'll play this violent overswing. It's 10 damage, but I have to discard my oldest card, which would be this one farthest to the right, when playing it. So violent overswing and do 10 damage to the golem. He's gonna move. That's fine with me. Next thing, I think I'm actually going to force bolt the golem, hopefully away. Yeah, there we go. So at the very least he has to do another movement card before he can get in range to attack my priest. I'm going to move the priest, though, out of the fight. Bludgeon. I did have armor, so I only took 2 damage instead of 4. And I keep the armor, of course. Let's move this character up here. Okay, he passes. Spark him. And sadly, I don't have another movement card on my dwarf, otherwise I'd be able to get in range to attack either the man-at-arms or the golem. Golem still has 3 cards, though, and he hasn't moved, so my guess is they're all attacks. I should probably not get near him. So I'll go ahead and pass. Get rid of penetrating cut and a flimsy block. Flimsy block probably won't help much against the golem's attacks, because he usually does big attacks as opposed to small ones. Okay, he's going to walk up close to my warrior. I think what I will do, actually, I'm going to Righteous Frenzy my warrior. It's plus 2 damage to melee attacks. It only lasts 1 turn as opposed to the other one, which lasted 2. Oh my goodness. Mighty Bludgeon, 14 damage. I don't have any armor. He's dead. That hurts. Okay. That's why I didn't want to get near him last turn. Damn. I could try bashing this guy, but he may have another parry card. Let's try it anyway. I do need to get that guy out of the way. Okay, he didn't. Good. The golem walks, and I run. Okay, good. He didn't have another movement card, it seems. I'll probably use this healing present. I attach it to a target, and it will heal 2 to all adjacent allies. So I'm going to put it on my mage, and every turn that I end next to my mage with my priest, you know, he'll heal 2. Memory loss. Target discards their oldest card. He's going to have to discard anyway after I pass, so I'll probably use that next turn. And I'll just get rid of my dash and my weak armor, because he has shredding strikes and things like that that would probably get rid of it anyways. He's clumsy. Dimensional Traveler. I attach this to my wizard. At the start of each round, I move 1. So basically I get a free, just 1 movement at the beginning of each round. Ooh, but I also drew a vulnerable card. Whenever I take damage, add 1 to their damage. Or to that damage. It's not such a huge deal against something like Golem, which already does these, 6, 10, 14 damage strikes. It's more annoying against things like casters, which will hit you with lots of little things, and it just piles up that 1 extra damage a lot. Ooh, this is interesting. I have 2 discards for this guy. So discard your oldest card. Okay. He did move. I do have a parry on my guy. Do I want to try and use it and then get a bludgeon off on him? That is a tough call. I think I will still run for now. I do want to stay next to my wizard though, because she will heal him. Then I will force him to discard again. I will use a spark. We're slowly whittling him down. I'll discard that dash. So she heals him too, and then she gets to move 1 at the beginning of that round. He's gonna walk. I'm actually okay with that. I drew a Force Blast card, which knocks them back 2 as opposed to 1. So he gets sent back. Unstable Bolt. These kind of half dark cards, they're ones with drawbacks to them. So it's decent damage for decent range for the level that I am, but if I play a move card while this is in my hand, there's a chance I'll take 4 damage if I roll a 3 or higher. Since he's already in range, I don't care. I'll just straight up use it and deal 4 more damage to him. Minor heal. Inspiration. Let's see if I can get my wizard to draw another attack card. Oh. She didn't, but oh well. No big deal. I'll just go ahead and pass. It looks like I'll be able to pull this one off. And I'll get rid of those cards. So she heals my priest 2 again, then gets to move 1 again. He's gonna walk forward. I drew another force attack. I remember this character having lots of these force attacks, so... Okay, he actually has armor now. This is solid mail. Basically, he just needs to roll a 4 or more, and he will block 3 damage of whatever. I only got 2 of them. This is going to be difficult. Oof. Let me try seeing if I can get the parry off on this guy. See if he fails his other. Okay. He got 1 armor attack, or 1 armor off, so I only do 1 damage. Oof. Shredding attack, but I blocked it. Great. Now he only has 1 other card. It may be this massive, massive killer attack. I don't know. I'm just gonna try and see if I can get one of these bludgeons through. Darn, so only 1 damage. Okay, another shredding strike. That's not too bad. Let's do another one of these. He blocked 1, he blocked 2. Darn. Let's try the zap. Failed 1. Ah, he blocked the other. See what I mean? Armor is annoying. Move him up. And see if I can get this bash attack off. Nope. Good news is, though, he is one step away from me, and I only need to deal 1 damage to him through his armor in order to actually kill him. He drew a couple clumsy traits. They don't actually really stack. They'll just replace one another. I think he might be waiting for me to use like a force attack and then move forward to me. So I am not going to humor him. I'm going to use this, it's called Misguided Heal. It heals 4, but it deals 2 damage. So if you only have 2 health, it'll kill you, but otherwise it's a heal of 2. So I take 2 damage and I heal 4. Okay, so he moved forward. I will force him back. Now since these are armor instead of blocks, they don't actually prevent the knockback, but hey, he failed on both. He only had 1 hit point left, and he died. Now I'm not going to do the other battles, you guys. This has been a long enough video as it is. But basically, I mean, that is Card Hunter. It's a great game, like I said, to play at work. It's in a browser, so you don't need to download anything onto a computer, and it's turn-based. So if you turn off the volume, I mean, you can easily, you know, just minimize it or go to a different tab that you might already have open. Yeah, I do it all the time. Great little, you know, turn-based strategy game, and I hope this video has shown you guys more or less, you know, just an idea of what it's like. There is a lot of content as well. I mean, I only played a handful of lower level adventures and then 1 out of the 3 battles of this adventure. You can spend a lot of time on this game. I haven't even shown you guys like the shops. There are shops that you can spend your gold on, sell items. It is a free-to-play game that's in beta right now. So I will be giving out 3 beta keys. Just put your name in the comments below this video. You don't even have to like it if you didn't actually like it. If you did like the video, though, I'd hope that you would actually let me know with the like button. But yeah, the free-to-play system of it, the jury is a bit out on that. It goes through, what are these, pizza slices? Now you see I have 10 pizza slices. I haven't actually bought any of them. You do get some of them just for playing through the campaign. The prices are okay, but what it lets you do, some of these adventures you'll notice are locked, like this Forest of Souls. It's asking if I want to abandon my other adventure. So I could unlock this map for 40 pizza slices, or I can buy all of the rest of the locked content in a bundle. Oh, here's Gary. Lo, the mighty tree warrior of the Forest of the Souls did call forth. And Gary, your dinner's ready. It's kind of cheeky. I like it. It just reminds me of, you know, playing tabletop games with friends back in the day. There's a multiplayer. I think, if anything, the multiplayer is where the pizza will become the most troublesome, the free-to-play element, because what it basically means is that you'll get items faster than other players. Now, you can't get anything with pizza that you can't just get from playing the game, which I really like that. I'm glad they did that. It isn't, there's no way to straight buy power. You just buy time. Like, you don't have to grind as much to get these bigger items and whatnot, which, you know, is still sort of buying power, but just not as blatantly. And from what I understand, the multiplayer scene, at least at, you know, more competitive levels, isn't dominated by people who have paid for, you know, paid for pizza slices. Because let me show you. You can actually where is it? The chest shop. Yeah, you can actually just straight up buy chests that, you know, are guaranteed to give you good items. The thing is, though, actually, as you play through multiplayer matches, if you get lots of wins in the multiplayer, you'll get one of those chests anyways. So you can, again, still get those really nice chests, get really nice items. Those epic items still have a chance to drop even in these, crappy chests. It's just a way for people with money to get those items faster. There's also something that's called the Card Hunter Club, which is kind of a subscription thing. I think this is probably the worst value, to be perfectly honest. What it does is it gives you one extra item at the end of each map that you play, and it just doesn't seem like a good value. Maybe if it were like a one-time, fee for like $20 or $30, I could see myself doing it if I, kept playing this game quite a lot. But as it is, I personally just don't play it enough to make that worthwhile. So yeah, this is Card Hunter. There's still a lot of this map that either I haven't explored or they just haven't, put levels onto. So there's a good potential for growth. It's still in beta, and it's really solid for a beta. There were a couple of graphical glitches that I'm sure you guys saw, but really good game. Really a lot of fun. I love the aesthetic. I love the gameplay. The gameplay is very tactical, very solid, and yeah, I hope you guys liked it.